We're waiting for Miss Margie. Should be here.
Yeah, well, it's good. 1 minute. That's it.
Judge, I believe she was going out of the country, so she's not going to be in today.
Yeah, but we have a quorum.
Yeah.
When it gets to 10 o'clock, we'll do it.
Got a message.
Got enough?
Margie running late.
Margie's running late? Okay, all right. How y'all doing out there? Welcome.
You probably gonna be on Zoom. Hey.
No, because you're able.
10 o'clock.
All right. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Today is January 27th, 2023. It's 10 a.m. JWC County Commissioners Court's now in session. I'd like to welcome everybody that's here live. Welcome to the Commissioners Court, and welcome everybody out there that's on Zoom. Welcome to JWC County Commissioners Court. Agenda item number 3, public testimony. I think we have one. Ms. Sandra Bowen.
Good morning, Judge Trevino and Commissioners. It's always a blessing to see you, especially on a new year. I just wanted to come forward and just say congratulations to Judge Trevino. I'm looking forward to working with you and the commissioners in the new year. So keep up with the great work. It's such a blessing to work hand in hand with the city and the county. So positive motives here. So let's just keep going forward.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much for all you do.
We look forward to doing so.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Anybody else? Like to
Yes, sir,
address-
Judge.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir,
Good
Sheriff.
morning, Judge, Commissioners. Just want to
Morning.
inform you that we have 50 inmates, 5 females. We have been advertising for the humane officer. The monies were allocated for a position. We had one individual sign up and picked up an application, but was not satisfactory the outcome of the background investigation. So we're still looking for one. It's we still have that opening. We have 4 openings at the county jail. Training took place this week and last week. There was a legislative update as well as K-9 encounters. So we completed those hours with our training coordinator. We have 2 currency cases that were investigated this week. One was Monday and one was Wednesday evening. So that's what we have. That's all we have this morning. We are fully staffed in some areas, but again, we do have some openings. The humane officer, as well as 4 jailers. We have a training program for one of our dispatchers that's transferring to become a jailer. So that's where we're at.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you.
Would anybody else like to address the court at this time? Mr. Noe Gomez?
Noe Gomez, the county auditor. Just wanted to go over the reports. They're not on the agenda,
Okay.
but I just want to give a quick summary of everything, and you could put it for the next agenda. That way you all can okay it
Sure,
on the auditor's report.
no problem.
Can they hear me, Robert? They hear me, Robert? And first of all, I was gonna go over the sales tax monthly report for December of 2022. When we did the budget, our sales tax, we budgeted or we forecasted that at $2,625,400. And at the end of this year, in December, we had revenue year to date of $3,348,607.64, or a year-to-date percentage of 127.55. We collected $723,207.64 more than what we put in the budget.
Nos afuera, country. Digo, tiene que nos afuera el country.
On the auditor's monthly report for December, on the revenue line items, like I said, I'm just gonna summarize it. We have, in the general fund, we collected 949,652.02 more than what we forecast, or our revenue percentages was 105. Overall, with everything, the RMBs and the regular other departments, we collected 1,837,521.93 more than what we forecast, or at 107%. Our expenditures through the end of the year, I have listed all of them. I think you all got a copy of the reports already. Send them out on the 20th. As you can see, you can look at everybody's departments. Anybody that's above, I can more or less tell you why they were above or what expenditures they had. Overall, with all the departments, we had budgeted 27,821,350.31. Actual, we spent 25,912,843.99, or a 93% of what we budgeted. That gave us a 7% positive variance. I want to thank everybody, the whole county, all departments, as keeping a close eye on their budgets and making sure that we do fall within the budget. And I appreciate everybody, and it's a good job by everybody. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Noe. Thank you.
Since it's on the, not on the agenda, we cannot,
No, you can,
So-
no, but I just wanted to give you more or less of an idea. It's
Yeah,
a good report.
I have several questions on it, but we'll put it on the agenda for the next meeting. Anybody else like to address the court at this time in public speaking? I do want to wish Miss Margie a happy birthday. It was yesterday, right?
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Happy birthday.
Judge, if you had questions for the auditor, let's go to that line item. That way you can ask questions.
It wasn't on
it's
the
not in the
agenda. That's why
agenda.
he did it in
Yeah.
public.
Well, you don't have a line item for it?
No, I don't have a line item for it.
Okay, thank
We'll
you.
put it on the, on February meeting, yeah. We can discuss it. That being said, anybody else would like to address the court at this time? If there's none, we'll go to agenda item number 4, discuss, consider, and take action to approve minutes from previous meeting or meetings.
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
I have a motion, I have a second. We have January 9th, 2023. Is there any discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. This side. Over there. Agenda item number 5, consent agenda. Consent agenda items will be voted upon in one vote and will not be discussed separately unless requested by the county judge, commissioner, or a citizen. Discuss, consider, and take action on budget amendment requested by Commissioner Margie H. Gonzalez to transfer 22,000 from line item 21-621-550.00 road and bridge improvements to 21-621-453.00 repair and equipment. Discuss and consider take action on budget amendment request from Jim Wells County Tax Assessor Collector to transfer $100 from new equipment to 12-573.00 to repair of equipment, 12-499-452.00. Can I,
Commissioner's Court, looked over the request.
I'll make a motion to accept item number 5 presented, Judge.
I'll second.
I have a motion and I have a second. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Judge, Commissioners,
Yes, sir.
this is, we're trying something new here, and so the whole purpose of doing it this way was so that you don't have to read all those numbers out. You could, in other words, you just say, okay, we're gonna move on to the consent agenda. Mr. Gomez, have you looked, does he certify, in other words, that the monies are there? And then you just make a motion without having to read all that, because I know when we got into November and December and the various departments were transferring money, we would have like a dozen of these. And so the whole idea is so that you don't have to read all that. So that's just something to keep in mind for next time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Guerrero.
Appreciate it. Agenda item number 6, presentation of the racial profiling report for Constable Precinct 3 as required by TCLOS, Texas Commission on Law Enforcement, was filed electronically as requested by law on January 7, 2023. Okay. I don't.
This Constable Long, this is just a presentation item as required by statute, not an action item. It was filed with the state, and then also I presented a copy to the Commissioner's Court.
Is there any questions or anything from commissioners?
Thank you.
Is there anything out of the ordinary that we need to know about or anything like that?
No, sir. Everything was fine.
Awesome. That being said, can I entertain a motion?
There's a
It's a
presentation.
presentation.
Okay, that's right.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Jim.
Mr. Long. Okay, agenda item number 7, presentation of 2022 racial profiling statistics for Jim Wells County Sheriff's Office as required by the state.
Yes, sir, Judge and Commissioners. Again, this is the same report that we have to file yearly to TICO. Our information has already been submitted to TICO. You have a copy of it. We have a record of it every year in the event that we get audited. But at this point, this is all we have. The information's available to you, the numbers and the people that were pulled over. And that's a yearly report that is submitted to TICO.
Anything out of the ordinary, Sheriff?
No, sir, nothing out of the ordinary, all within normal limits.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Agenda item number 8, discuss, consider, and take action on Jim Wells County Sheriff Department. Sheriff Bueno is requesting authorizing issuance of 3 Visa credit cards from Prosperity Bank to Jim Wells County Sheriff Department.
Does the Sheriff's Department was to give us some credit card? We went ahead and contacted our bank, every bank, are eligible to get some cards from them, the judge. Free one, the Visa card, and it can be $5,000 limit. We wanna go crazy with this, it's just that we need that one. So, I'm just coming here, I just wanna make sure that you all know about it, authorize it. We will have rules and regulations that we have with the other credit cards, where we're paying for certain things and they want to buy something, they'll contact our office. And we'll go from there.
Okay. Sheriff?
One of the cards would be issued to the chief deputy, Louis Valadez, and one to Captain Barrera, and one to my office. According to the auditor's office, that's the recommendation from the bank, so.
They have to have a name on it, not just Sheriff's Department.
Right.
I'll make a motion to accept item number 8 presented, Judge.
I'll second.
I have a motion, I have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Sheriff. Thank you, Noe.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, ma'am.
Agenda item number 9, consider and approval of offer to purchase tax sale property, suit number 0809-14458-B, Jim Wells County, City of Alice, Alice Independent School District, and Alice Water Authority versus James Evans, account number 113350040000, Block 5, Lot 5, Block 1, H.F. McGill, re-subdivision. In addition to the City of Alice of original block number 1 of H.H. Gregg Park, addition, Jim Wells County. I think this is just a state property sale, purchase, sale property tax suit. And they do have a buyer in Domingo Salinas, and he has offered $5,800.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and I have a second. Any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 10, Jim Wells County ESD 1 is asking that the Commissioners Court reappoint the following individuals to new two-year terms, and commissioners and officers of the Jim Wells County ESD 1, Abraham Aguilar, President, and the Honorable Karen E. Canali, Assistant Treasurer.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners, people in attendance. Yeah, I come here maybe once, twice a year, just to get y'all's approval on reappointing our officers for our ESD number 1. We've got some good things going over in Sandy on the north end of the county, and we appreciate the sheriff and them coming out and visiting us all the time and making the runs through there. And all I need is just y'all's approval appointment. I'm going to be another 2-year term, and Karen, the Honorable Karen Canali, which is just retired, is going to be another 2-year term for her. So I just ask for y'all's blessing, and you guys are invited to come sit in on our meetings at any time y'all want to. Go through our books. We run a tight show over there. We've got some good things. We just got a new truck. The guys are real proud of it. So we're protecting that side, and we're helping Orange Grove or anybody else that we can help at the times that we're available. So thank you for what you guys do, and like I said, I just need your approval, and I'll get out of your hair.
Sounds good.
I make a motion to reappoint.
I'll second.
I have a motion and I have a second to approve agenda item number 10 as stated. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
guys.
I'll go visit
With
you
all due respect, I'm
guys.
gonna leave now.
I'll go visit you guys later on.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 11, consider and approve a resolution for Jim Wells County, Brooks County's Victim Assistance Program Grant 3876205.
Commissioners, this is Carlos Garcia. Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, great. So I'm here in Brooks County, we have grand jury, and so I'm using somebody else's computer. So just want to make sure everything's okay.
Good morning, Mr. Carlos.
Morning. This grant would actually be the 5th cycle. So we've already had it for 3 complete cycles, and we're in the current 4th cycle. And I'll tell you, right now, there's 2 positions that are covered by grants from this program. One is a crime victims advocate and a coordinator, and one is an administrative assistant. Well, when we started this program, we had a target of 100 victims. By the 2nd year, we moved that target up to 200 because there was a larger need, and that's where we ended up going from 1 employee to 2 employees under this grant. Well, the last 2 years, the last complete cycles, we hit almost 500 victims on that year. And the last complete cycle, we hit almost 600. We got to 588. So the program is growing. And I think part of it is, we have a lot of partners that are now referring victims that we were never getting the information on before. The community is learning more about some of the things that are available to them. So they're coming to us before a criminal case ever even gets filed. With that being said, part of what we're going to be asking for is one more victim assistant, an advocate, and a position for a protective order prosecutor. And I'll tell you right now, Michael Guerra's office and my office have basically started a pilot program where, starting the first week in January, my office took over handling the protective orders as we try to basically grow this victims assistance program to basically have a dedicated prosecutor that only handles that, as opposed to, it being just part of everything else that you have on your plate. And we believe that by doing that, we're going to be able to provide more services to the individuals in our community that need it. So for that reason, we're asking permission or get a resolution so that we can go after this grant. Like I said, this will be the 5th time. It's growing every time. And one of the things is, this is the first year out of all the times that we've gone after it where there is no match. All the other years we had at least a 20% match that I was dealing with through the asset forfeiture. But this year there isn't a match to it. So we're hoping that we're going to get the extra resources, but also thankful that any resources we do get, it's going to be 100%. So for that reason, that's what we're asking the court to consider and to approve this resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia. That being said, can I entertain a motion?
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
I have a motion or a second. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
All right.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you, Carlos.
No, thank you all.
Agenda item number 12, consider and approve a resolution for criminal and juvenile justice training program, grant number 4500902.
Yes, commissioners, this grant, this will only be the second year that we go for it. Last year, we finally got it after several years of trying to get some monies and resources to provide some specific training in our area. And the specific training was going to be aimed more for issues related to domestic violence and protective orders and juvenile justice, because a lot of times we deal with a lot of those issues, but many of our trainings that we were able to bring in came in through another grant that mainly deal with border prosecution unit, and we just couldn't make those resources fit for the training that we thought we needed on some of these other areas. So last year, we finally were given the opportunity and given some monies to bring in those trainers. And so we're actually going to have some trainers coming up in the next few weeks where it's not only aimed at training our law enforcement, but it's to bring in our JPs, our juvenile probation officers, our adult probation officers, basically everybody who might have a component or deal with a part of the situations that come up with our juvenile cases and that come up with our domestic violence related cases. So that's basically what this would be. And also this one also has no matching. So all of the funds get to be utilized for bringing in those trainers in those specific areas. And we bring them here so that more of our area agencies are able to send more of their officers and more of their staff personnel to these trainings.
Okay, good, good. That being said, is there,
I have a question, Judge. Mr. Garcia, on the resolution, and correct me, it says here, whereas the Jim Wells County Commissioners Court agrees to provide applicable matching funds for the said project as required by the Office of the Governor grant application. Is that,
That would be if it was required, but I can tell you, every year, I've always said, it's gonna come out of asset forfeiture. But there is no matching on this grant either.
clarify that? Thank you, sir.
Yes, there is no grant, there is no matching, but if there were, I would, handle that through those other funds.
Exactly. Thank you. Appreciate that.
can I entertain a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the item as presented, Judge.
I'll second.
I have a motion, I have a second. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
All right.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 13, consider and approve a resolution for Jim Wells County and Brooks County's forensic testing program, grant number 4729201.
Yes, and this grant this will be the first time we go for this grant. It also has no matching funds, but if there were matching, it would come out of the asset forfeiture funds that the DA's office administers. But this is actually a grant where they've set some money aside to help the local jurisdictions in getting some forensic testing done on cases, and it can be done up front. Like law enforcement could come in and say, hey, we need some forensic testing done. However, DPS lab is telling us it's going to be about a 8 months, 10 months, a year before any of these results come in, but there's an outside, lab that's available that, of course, they're going to charge money for it. They're going to, so these funds are geared towards using for that. And I can tell you some of the other funds that that would come out of this would be for the actual funds during trial, because one of the issues that we've been dealing with is, we have a lot of the cases, the DPS lab had ended up contracting out their testing. Well, when we get those cases ready for trial, well, all of those private entities, those private labs are basically saying, well, we were only paid to test it. You want us to come down and actually testify, this is our daily rate. We're going to charge you, $2,500 just so that we can go down there. We're going to need our, mileage. We're going to need some of those things, like the room and board can get, paid for out of the Texas Comptroller's office, but the actual expert fees do not. Another place we had this same situation was Dr. Ray Fernandez. On all of our homicides, we have a lot of cases where the medical examiner and assistant medical examiner who did the autopsies are actually under indictment out of Nueces County. So we've had to get a substitute expert. Well, the substitute expert is actually someone who, like Dr. Fernandez, who's retired and is basically charging, those retirement level fees. And so this would help us alleviate some of those extra costs that, we've never had to deal with in the past. So for that reason, we're also asking for approval of this resolution.
Thank you.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda
Thank
item
you.
14, discuss, consider, and act on authorizing requests for bids, RFBs, to supply the county of Jim Wells with sealed bids for the hauling services for all road materials.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, County Commissioners. This agenda item is placed before you for consideration. As you know, we're the county commissioners have all been allocated ARPA funds for their road and bridge. And some of the county commissioners are preparing to start some improvements to their streets and to the roads, I'm sorry. And we require through the ARPA procurement regulations to CFR that we go out for procurement for any materials, equipment, or supplies. So basically, what I will be preparing, I'm here to ask for authorization to prepare that request for bids, subject to approval by our county attorney. Then we will post that within the procurement timeframes required under the guidelines.
Does that also have to be put in the paper and
Yes,
twice
ma'am.
and all that?
Yes, we will be publicizing that in the local newspaper as well. That is what's required, that we have to publicize that. And I will get with the county commissioners to get a list of the materials that they will be using that's going to be included in that procurement packet. It'll list the materials that they use. And I'm asking so that we don't have to go out and procure every time. I looked at what some other counties have done, and they will either do a 6-month contract or an annual contract. And therefore, it doesn't delay having to go out for procurements every time you need to go for materials or supplies. We can use that same company that is contracted. Any questions?
I make a motion to approve and to do it annually.
I was thinking about maybe 6 months.
You want to be coming back every 6 months to put it in the paper? If you're in the middle of a job,
So these ARPA funds that we're talking about?
Yes.
Have they been,
allocated.
they've been allocated, but were they transferred for lost revenue or anything like that before?
So when we discussed lost revenue, it was an election that the county could take and recommended, of course, by the U.S. Treasury for any entities up to 10 million. So it's a standard allowance that it just basically gave us more flexibility on how to use our funds, but it didn't relieve us of the requirements for procurement. Those are mandated. The 2 CFR is mandated that we follow procurement guidelines. And also under our, and county attorney can probably correct me if I'm wrong, but we also have that in our statutes, our local government code, that we have to go out and procure for materials, equipment, and supplies as well. So the budget that was approved, the ARPA budget that was approved, they approved, the commissioners approved a certain amount to be allocated for road and bridge in each of their precincts. And I'm not sure if I answered your question, Judge.
Yeah. I'm just, because we are, I mean, I guess these services are going to be over $50,000
Yeah, in aggregate, I mean, they will
altogether.
altogether go over the allocation of the
Pretty much
50.
anything that has to go through the ARPA funds has to go through
Absolutely, that's one of the things. And I
by
can,
federal government.
I'm not sure, because we did receive under $10 million. And we are, I don't remember the name. It's slipping my mind. There's an acronym for us, and it gives us authority to transfer that money because we receive less than $10 million and we're under 50,000 population. It gives us the authority to transfer that money for lost revenue. And when we transfer that money for lost revenue, we have to follow our procurement, but not the federal. So I want to make sure, for your sake too, because you're doing a lot of work, if it's the case that I'm saying right here, and we did definitely receive less than $10 million, and we're definitely less than 50,000 in population. And if we transfer that money, all for lost revenue, then the flexibility is there, and all we have to do is follow our procurement.
Which it mirrors the federal guidelines.
Yes, sir. And they may be
Pretty
even more
much, so-
stringent, and therefore we would have to
Thinking of
follow.
reallocating the monies?
No, no,
So-
I understand what you're saying, Judge, and I hear you. But the thing is that our local policy mirrors the federal policy, so.
well, it's over fifty
basically the same
thousand. I'm
thing.
just,
So we still have to go for the procurement part.
yeah.
Yeah, and
You're
I
not
think,
understanding what the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is that there's a lot of flexibility once we do that because we're under 10 million and because we're under 50. But we can discuss that in
the
another.
flexibility allows us to, one, the eligible uses, it opened up more eligible uses, for example, for road and bridges, drainage and things. But it doesn't relieve us of the requirements to follow 2 CFR. I'll be glad to provide that section of the 2
I've seen it.
CFR to the county attorney for interpretation. And that way we will, you know, we can come back and address that. But because we elected the standard allowance under the final rules, what that means is it gave us more flexibility on the eligible uses, but we still must follow whether it's the ARPA 2 CFR federal requirements that includes the procurement, subpart D, or if ours are even more stringent, that we follow the local statutes and our local policy. And if ours are more stringent, then we would follow those, is my understanding.
Okay. No,
I,
you had a motion?
I made a motion, but I also think that following the procurement process, I know it's more work, but it's also more, where everybody, it's more, I'm trying to think of the word, transparent. It's more transparent, you know, the community knows what we're doing. The community, you know, the opportunity is there for anybody, for us to use local truck drivers, and although the material is not here, we have to go out, you know, to get it, but
Yes, sir. And we approved those, and that includes going out for procurement. But it's, again, you know, it's part of, even if we weren't to use ARPA, our local policy requires that we go out for procurement.
No, I understand. I understand that. I
So,
understand
and Judge, it's an added protection so that when the time comes and we have to do a single audit, and we're audited, we'll show that we followed through on procurements, following our procurement policy. We have a policy in place that was brought. I'm also reviewing some additional policies that I will be visiting with the county attorney on, that it appears that we must also have in place, including a policy regarding equipment, supplies, and materials. There's certain policies that ARPA requires us to have in place, and we want to be sure, you know, my job is to be able to make sure that we are all in compliance, we protect this court, and that we are in compliance with the ARPA federal funds that have been awarded to us.
I understand.
I mean,
You made a motion. Is there a second?
Judge, if I may, Margie, the reason that I was thinking 6 months also is because a lot of these truckers, and I'm just gonna voice, the fuel prices, if it's gonna be fluctuating, and if they come in and they're gonna say, hey, I can't do it for that price anymore. So, I don't know, maybe something to consider, but if whatever the board, or the commissioners court decides, take that into consideration. What do you think, Mr. Garcia?
I'm fine with it. Yeah, prices will fluctuate.
Yes, sir.
There's no doubt. But this is a process we have to take.
Yeah.
You know, and
But should we go 6 months or a year? I mean,
I think whatever if we can go a year, it'd be better, right? But it's whatever the contractors will
And there will be some language in there to address the fluctuation of prices and how we will address that.
Okay.
You
Yes,
know,
ma'am.
and if it's a buy board company, that would
Yeah,
be
that
an
meets
issue
our
at all.
requirement.
So, I was, I was talking to Valcon yesterday, and he wasn't sure whether they were buy board or not, but if they are, that would solve our problems.
Yes. Mhm.
You know, so they might be buy board
I-
and we don't have this issue.
Usually usually when a company is on the buy board, and Robert may help me with this, my understanding is they will have a number assigned to them, and any invoice that they produce, they will have that number, and it'll say they are participate in the buy board. So I haven't seen that on Vulcan. I looked at one of their invoices, Commissioner, that you had provided. I didn't
Victor
see
was
that.
at the office yesterday, or day before, and I asked him to look into it, so he thought they were, but he wasn't sure.
We can look, I think there's a way to look it up, Robert, if they're on there. Also, I wanted to point out that Vulcan, I think it was brought to my attention, I believe, that Vulcan may be the only one
I
in
think we.
Yeah,
in
they're
the
probably-
area.
We probably shouldn't say their name.
Oh,
Because
oh,
if they want to
correct.
bid, we shouldn't say nobody's name because we're going out for bids. And
Well,
we
if-
definitely don't want to say their name here and then they'll have to preclude
well,
them from this, so.
Actually,
But anybody that's a buy board company, they can sure approach you,
So what happens is if we only get one bid, or we get, two bids, and we will have documentation where we will do a bid analysis to analyze why we went with that bid. We'll also have documentation to sole source if we only get that one bid. We'll have to justify why we're going to a sole source. So we'll have that in place as well.
actually, when it comes to the aggregates, there's actually three other different companies, but they're all located in the same area because that's where the aggregates come from.
Yeah. We certainly
So it
encourage,
can
and
just be
that's
put out
like
there.
Commissioner said, that's the, also
I
to
was
we
planning to,
invite
like,
for
at some point-
publicizing it.
At some point, I want to go out for seal coat bids
Mhm.
with the requesting that they would honor it for up to 6 months, so that the cost, whatever they're bidding on, I can always add some roads
Mhm.
if it's a good price, right? So that's,
Yeah.
That's gonna be a long shot. I requested a bid on a piece of equipment. They did it for 2 days.
yes, it's gonna be a challenge, especially in the summer when, all these contractors are real busy with state contracts. But anyway, actually, you can hardly find material in the summer. The state takes it all. So anyway, I agree that we should go out for bids.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
A second.
I have a motion, I have a second. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 15, discuss, consider, and act on authorizing requests for bids to supply the county of Jim Wells with sealed bids for road materials and services. And please, let's not mention any company names when we're talking about sealed bids during any discussion we're having in this agenda item.
I make a motion to approve.
A second.
I have a motion and I have a second. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 16, discuss, consider, and take action to approve designating the following items as surplus and authorizing their disposition pursuant to Texas Local Government Code, Section 263.152. One, Fujitsu, is that right? Fujitsu, 6130, Jim Wells County, number 10711, serial number 1922106. Number 2, Fujitsu, 6130, Jim Wells County, number 016112021-032, serial number 0897 39, number 3, Fujitsu, 6130, Jim Wells County number 10712, serial number 055404, number 4, MM0K1 or I, B431D, printer, Jim Wells County number 06112-021-2023, serial number AK580083355A0, number 5, 0KI B431D printer, Jim Wells County number 01120 21 and 026, serial number AK05014881A0. Wow, I'm glad it's over with.
Just for the record, I was gonna ask what department asked for this.
Do what now, no?
Just for the record, I wanted to ask what department it is.
Oh.
If it's IT, just to be noted, or what department asked for all this?
This department is, let me see.
Did you put it on there?
I just wanna make sure if it's, EA or somebody else,
Whose signature is it?
just for the record.
I can.
Good morning, Commissioners. Those 3 scanners and printers are from the elections
There
department.
you go. Okay, there you go.
Thank you, Mr. Guerra.
Yes, sir.
Elections.
I make a motion to accept item number 16, or
Okay, I have a motion, do I have a second?
I second it.
and for the record, it's the Elections Department.
All right, I have a motion, I have a second. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 17, discuss, consider, and take action for approval of engineering contract with Hanson Professional Services for the emergency generator project for the courthouse. I'm gonna go ahead and read out number 18, agenda item number 18 also, so we can discuss both freely at the same time. When it comes to making motions, we'll separate them. Agenda item number 18, discuss, consider to possibly take action on moving forward on emergency generator project for the courthouse. So this project actually began in 2018, I think it was, correct? 2018, when I was actually judge then. We actually got the grant approved and actually got the funds awarded in 2020. We have been trying to get this taken care of, and I know there's been a lot of work done on it. We finally went to the Historical Commission on Monday to see if the placement of the generator can go back to the original placement, which is on the southeast side, right by where all the electrical hookups are. There was some confusion and a recommendation to move it elsewhere, but that would cost a whole lot more money. And our meeting with the Historical Commission on Monday declared that they moved it back to the original state. So we can put it back to where originally thought we were going to put it. And I'm going to turn it over to possibly our engineer. We're here to approve that contract, but he has more information on it.
Good morning, Judge Trevino, County Commissioners. Appreciate the time for allowing me to come and speak to you all this morning. This is a really good project. It's going to provide emergency power to the entire courthouse that's serving as your operations center in the event of an outage. It covers power for the entire building, not just one floor. Jumas County went out for procurement process, as the judge said, on May 14, 2018, and awarded our firm, Hanson Professional Services, to conduct the design and construction administration services for the project. As the judge said, we went through several regulatory hurdles, but now we have the green light to move forward with the engineering contract. design services, procurement, and construction. This generator being proposed, it's a 200 kilowatt generator located on the southeast corner of the building where the overhead power is coming in. And on your desk is the exhibit showing the location of where that's being proposed, which the judge has indicated such. That's always been the location that we propose to put it. But I just want to let you all know about that. If you flip your page over, it indicates the obligated funds on May the 6th of 2020 of $195,073, with a federal share of $146,304.75, and a local share at that time of $48,768.25. Well, with all the inflation, the supply chain issues and things, prices have gone up since that time. We're currently projecting that price will be about $245,758.21. Same federal share, but your local share would possibly go up to $99,453.46. Currently, you have local funds allocated of $61,000, but the difference between the 99,000 you see and the 61 is you still have to come up with 38,453.46.
Great. So if I can interject real quick, in our meeting with the Historical Commission, you know, there were a lot of other technicalities that they wanted, like a service drive from either the east on Cameron side, and then on the south side. So the agreement to delete those criterias allowed us to save some money. So we were able to go there, get the approval to put it where we originally wanted, and to do away with certain criteria that they were asking that saved us money. So we did go and we did fight that battle. And even though we did save money, there's still some left over that the county's going to need to absorb if we approve all this. And my recommendation is we work so hard on this grant, and nobody knows how critical it is unless you've been here when there's no lights and there's rain and there's hail and there's the first time I got elected, that evening we had a storm, came out of nowhere, and the elections department could not do what they needed to do to count the votes and do whatever else they needed to do. We had to get 2 generators from the back of a truck to do this. And then during my term, we had 3 hurricanes, and we had the EOC located here in the courtroom. Our county auditors, they needed to print checks and print whatever else they needed to print that was crucial to our safety and security. So the main reason why we went for this grant was to address those issues, and hopefully we don't have those issues again. That being said, that there is some, I want to be as transparent as we can. This is a reimbursement grant. In other words, the county has to pay for the whole thing, and then we would get reimbursed the $146,000, correct?
Well, no,
Yes, 146,304.
you get the 146 from the federal government, right?
Yeah, so the total cost as forecasted is $245,758, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so we have to pay our $65,000 match for the original grant. And then we have to pay on top of that, $33,000, however much it is, because of the inflation, the cost of inflation and how long it took us to get this process and to get where we're at now. The only hurdle we have now is the procurement for the generator, correct?
Correct.
So the decision we need to make today is on agenda item number 17, the engineering services, which were approved back in 2020, correct?
2018.
2018. We have to approve that contract because the contract was never signed, correct?
Right. because of all the changes, we never formalized a contract, but that's what's being brought before you today, now that we have everything lined out.
Okay, so the contract is the issue on the 17th, on agenda item number 17, and number 18 is moving forward with it, understanding that we're paying forecasted cost of $99,453.46. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
I make a motion to approve moving forward with the contract with Hanson Professional Services.
so that's for agenda item number 17. Okay, so I have a motion to approve agenda item number 17. Do I have a second?
Judge,
Judge, can I discuss something real quick?
Yes, sir. So I have a motion and I have a second. Go ahead and discuss.
So if we don't have a contract with the engineering firm right now, that wasn't signed, wouldn't we have to go back to procurement, Mr. Guerrero?
no, the procurement was done. That was done May 14th,
Okay, just
2018.
wanna clarify that.
We went through that process. Judge, you did ask me to look that over. I did have two issues. Paragraph number 6 indicates that as far as how much liability insurance they would carry, I'm sure Hanson carries plenty of liability insurance. It just, the way it's worded, it just says that they will carry a reasonable amount. I don't know if Mr. Pilarczyk has an actual number that he can tell us that they carry.
I don't have a certificate of insurance with me, but I know we have adequate insurance that covers most of all of our federal and county projects.
I would think you would. I just, it's when you put the word reasonable, it's subject to interpretation. So, as long as we have an assurance that, I would think at least you carry $1 million per and $2 million in the aggregate.
We have that.
Okay. The only other issue I had, Judge, was paragraph number 30. It binds us to use Illinois law, and I'm not comfortable with that because I'm not licensed in Illinois. I don't know what Illinois law is. I would like that to be changed to Texas law.
That can be done.
Paragraph number 30. But other than that, I think we're good to go.
Okay, so I have a motion and I have a second. Can we amend those motions to include the two concerns that Mr. Guerra has?
I make a motion to approve amending number 30 to Texas, and where it says reasonable,
number 6.
Number 6, to put the amount of $1.2 million for aggregate.
Get that.
Okay,
Second.
so I have a motion, I have a second on the amended motion. We'll just have to make sure we have those concerns addressed, and the motion is to approve that based on those two concerns being addressed. Okay, so I have a motion, I have a second. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Thank you. And agenda item number 18, can I get a motion?
I make a motion to move forward on the emergency generator project at the courthouse.
I'll second.
Second.
I have a motion and I have a second. Discussion, I'll discuss it just a.
No, just a question. Are these generators, they're not mandated by the state, are they? Or are they?
No,
No.
To have a backup generator system?
no.
I think they're probably in the process of doing it though. So anyway, just
Judge, and
curious.
as far as the funds, can they come out from the ARPA funds that we put aside for matches?
So that was just the discussion I wanted to open because I want to be transparent as possible. We are going to have to pay upfront because it's a reimbursement grant, and we'll be reimbursed the $146,000, but we will pay $99,453.46 of that. Now, and once we start this project, we will be getting draws. And with those draws, we'll be submitting, at the same time, we'll be submitting for reimbursement. Okay, so this is gonna be a kind of a long process. The procurement of the a generator, we're hoping that, we did all this in a rush to put it back in Commissioner's Court. because we want to have this by March or April. So we're going to try to go through the procurement process for the generator quick, fast, and in a hurry. So once that gets approved, then we'll start the process of payment. And my only concern from this was the reimbursement timelines from FEMA, because they do take a long time. And I am pretty sure, and I'm pretty confident, and I think Caroline, Ms. Castro from GrantWorks, I think we all are pretty sure that we can get it all done by December 31st. If not, the only thing that lingers is the reimbursement to the following year, which is 2024. But I do want, did I answer your question? Okay. I want everybody to understand and be as transparent as possible, because this is very much needed. And in the future, we would hopefully be able to do that in the fairgrounds to the Merchants Building when we utilize that one as an emergency warming or cooling, what is it called?
And during our ARPA fund, during our ARPA fund discussions, that was one of the things that we said that we would use that money for.
And I
Yes, yes, we did. So just to follow up on your question, Commissioner Margie Gonzalez, during your ARPA budget meetings, you did allocate $61,000 to be used towards the generator as part of your matching funds. You do have some ARPA funds in reserves. The generator is an eligible cost. Therefore, you would be able to use any additional ARPA funds that you would need in order to meet the county's matching funds if you'd like, or the purchase of it.
Yeah, and it's a
Then get
reimbursement. Right.
reimbursed.
It's a cost reimbursement grant, which most grants are, so. But yes, you did allocate 61,000. There is in your spreadsheet schedule, you'll see a line item for the generator, $61,000.
And I commend the Commissioners Court for doing that. Appreciate you guys for doing that, because this is a very much needed project and a very much needed generator. That
Long
being-
overdue.
Yes, sir, long overdue. I have a motion and I have a second. I do have a second, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, and go ahead and mark me as an aye on that one too. Yeah, thank you so much. GrantWorks, Carolina, thank you very much for y'all's help, and we're on a time clock. So let's get it. Appreciate you very much, and
Judge,
if you
Commissioners.
provide that information for number 17, we'll get it all squared away.
I'll do my best to get it this afternoon.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it. Agenda item number 19, discuss, consider Jim Wells County Day at the Capitol on February 14th. This is a very special day for Jim Wells County at the Capitol. I know that the previous time when I was judge, if I'm not mistaken, I think we took a bus out there. I don't know if Mr. Guerra or Margie, you remember? I would like to do that same deal. I don't know how we paid for that bus. Do you remember knowing how we paid for that bus? Okay, so
Was it Casa Real that it was a Casa Real bus? Right?
they provided it? Okay. So we'll see. So anybody out there that's watching, or anybody here, or anybody from Jim Wells County that would like to attend, we'd like to take as many people as we can and show representation, show them at the Capitol that Jim Wells County, we mean business. We need help, and we need help from our legislatures, and we need help from our state capitol and our governor and everybody that's in those buildings over there. So the more people we take, the more serious they take us. So I'm going to try and do this. I'm on a very tight schedule because I have to be in Lubbock next week for judicial training. But or if someone would like to help me, I would like to contact each one of our high schools in Jim Wells County, and I would like to take a couple of students from each one of those high schools to the Capitol. I do remember and do recall very vividly when I was a counselor at Coastal Bend College and a dean, I was the one who came up with a program to take students to the Capitol every legislative session.
And I think last year we took the trio group, right?
Yeah, I'm
Program,
not sure, but
one of the years.
those students, some of those students was the first time they ever left Kingsville, left Beeville, or left Alice, and the very first time they ever been to Austin and ever been to the Capitol. I teamed that up and took them to the LBJ library, and that's the first time they ever been there either. Also, so we're going to try to make it. I know it's a quick turnaround, but if we can, I'm going to try to talk to each of the schools to see if some of the students can go. And I know we'll be there for sure. I'll be spending the night there because I have a meeting afterwards. But that being said, commissioners, I do hope, and everybody from Jim Wells County, everybody that's an elected official, and anybody who else that would like to go, I'd really like to see that happen.
Remember the Chamber of Commerce used to spearhead that? I don't know. Are you gonna be spearheading everything though?
I don't mind reaching out to Casa Real if we can get a bus to provide it. I don't mind reaching out to the high schools. Other than that, I'm not sure what else. You know, if you know you're going and you would like to participate in that, maybe scheduling a lunch afterwards. I know.
Didn't they provided a lunch there at the Capitol?
I think the chamber used to provide that information for us and set up.
But the lunch was there at the Capitol.
I don't remember the lunch.
Back in the day, it was funded by the Coastal Community Foundation. The chamber brought like 10 people from the community, and they went out there and provided lunches and stuff like that. That's how they organized it.
Yeah, and I like to team up with the city. I mean, get any city officials or any city employee, whichever. Yes, sir.
Being a commissioner in Bush County, I'm glad to attend your meeting.
Yes, sir.
I'm very interested in the comment you made. Would it be better if we could include other counties to make it like a tri-situation, go to the Capitol as more of a group together, you know? I'm just open for ideas like that.
Wait, Commissioner, welcome. Good to see you. Yes, we do that. When I was judge, we would do that in when it came down to testifying. But you guys yourselves should have Brooks County a day also. I don't know when it is, but I'm sure y'all have one. And if you don't, come on with Jim Wells. You're more than welcome to come with us. I don't see no problem with it. But yes, and when we talk about counties working together, we definitely go to the Capitol and testify on different bills that our senators and our state representatives need us for.
I would feel, you know, that being like a tri-county, we would take more representation from the area to where they would be noticing more than just one county. I mean,
Yes.
that's my opinion.
Yes, no, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yes, sir. Thank you.
And maybe if we might need a big bus instead of a Casa Real bus.
I mean, we have, today's the 27th, we have until the 13th, and then 14th showtime, so I'm really ready and willing to help in any way possible that we can get this going and make it a huge success. Yeah.
How many people fit in a bus, or we need to take two?
We may need to take two, you know. I know when we went last time, we had good amount of people show up and represent
The
Jim Wells
city,
County over there.
The city went with,
Yeah.
well, because it was the chamber that was doing it.
Yeah.
I think in a charter bus, it's like 50 people.
Right.
Charter bus.
And in the Real bus,
It's not as much.
No,
25 maybe.
I think they're capped at 25 with their biggest bus, I think. Yeah, so, But yes, so awesome. As much participation as we can get here and our commissioners court and the courthouse would be great.
When you appoint a committee of three and kind of help you out to reach out to different,
Sure, not a problem.
you know, I nominate Mark Dominguez, maybe Margie, maybe, you'll kind of help out. No, really, it's.
No, yes.
Because it's
Does he have
a
to make
big
them
headache.
check?
You need more than one head, so.
Yeah.
You wanna-
Ms. Dominguez? All right, thank you, sir.
maybe Yolanda.
Appreciate you stepping up to the plate. All right, thank you all very much. We'll go on to agenda item number 20, discuss, consider, and take action on payroll and bills as submitted by the county auditor with exemption of the Fund 52, 53, and 54.
So number 19, it was just a presentation.
Yeah, and it says consider.
That's
I
what
mean,
I'm saying.
I don't think we need to make any motion on anything.
It's just a discussion.
I make a motion for the bills submitted by the county auditor.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
And we get those with plenty of time to review and question and.
Yeah. I have a motion. I have a second. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 21, discuss, consider, and take action to approve county treasurer's report and other monthly reports. That other monthly reports doesn't cover noise, no?
No, it's a separate item.
Separate item?
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second. Further discussion?
This is the last report, Mark, for 2022?
So unofficially, we have $12.1 million in the fund balance, general fund balance.
Like Noe was saying, I also want to thank everybody that really works hard to conserve, they're very conservative with their budgets, and that creates a surplus, and that's really great. I want to thank everybody.
Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Judge, before we close, I'd like just to mention that actually today was a deadline for the grant that we applied, and I want to thank Ms. Yolanda Moran for helping us out, spearheading a deal with the Highway Department, Tech started out of Corpus, and we submitted everything yesterday, and our fingers crossed for the project in Bembo for sidewalks and lighting. It's 3 phases, so hopefully everything will work out. We'll find out in March or so. So thank you.
Good. Awesome. Can I entertain a motion?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Oh, is there something else?